All right, everyone. I am here on PAX Unplugged Day 0 with Joe Wiggins from allplay. How is setting up for the con going?
It's going good. I mean, we have a good team, so booth comes together pretty fast. But every time we come to a convention, it's always just kind of a list of things to get done. But yeah, most of everything's pretty much done. We're getting games put on the demo tables right now.
This isn't your first rodeo. How long have you been doing this whole shtick? Like, how long have you been on the parade for board games?
Oh man, I mean, I've been in the board game industry for going on 9 years. So pretty much my whole career started at Panda Games Manufacturing and transitioned, and now I am a partner with Chad, and so we run BoardGameTables.com, formerly now allplay together, and so we've been doing that for over 2 years now. So
right, and that's super exciting, and one of the things that I most wanted to talk to you about, because when I was here last year, and folks probably know that PAX Unplugged is like my favorite convention to go to, and I kind of knew there was some rustling and bustling about a possible shakeup with what was going on with board game tables, and you were still BGT at the convention last year.
Yes, we were.
And talk to me about the transition. What's the impetus behind this great transformation?
Yeah, so I mean, we really wanted a brand. I mean, when the company first started, BoardGameTables.com was kind of an SEO play, and it was a good one. But as the company continued to grow and we started having bags, it really wasn't that weird because tables was still primarily the main thrust of the company. But then the company did a few board games, and then we're like, maybe there's something to this board game thing. And that's kind of when I came on board and we really decided to really pour gasoline on the fire of like really pushing becoming a full-blown board game publisher. And so the games that we had come out with, I think they're still fantastic, still hold up to this day. QE, Kabuto, Sumo, Mountain Goats, they all came out under that BoardGameTables.com branding. But now we kind of always felt like with the reviewers, people would be like, oh, this is that table company that makes board games. Right. And we really wanted to have a brand name that could encompass everything that we did.
Do you feel like you're still in this transitionary state? Because, you've done Essen, you've done Gen Con, Origins under this new moniker, but myself as a media creator, I'm still going like, you should check out this game Sale by allplay, formerly known as Board Game Tables, because there's still a lot of brand association with the types of games that were under the old moniker.
Yeah. And I mean, as the years continue to go, this has only been the first year with the new name. We really feel like people are going to get more used to it, more comfortable with it. I'm sure that there will always be a time that people will go back and be like, oh, BoardGameTables.com was, the name that allplay is. So I think that that's really gonna just take a while for people to get used to, because we were very well known in the board game space under that moniker. But I think moving forward, allplay is just going to be a better fit for the company for everything that we do.
Yeah, that makes sense. But I do have to ask, board game tables, does this represent a transition away from what you initially started as a company? I mean, I got my Jasper at home. Mm-hmm. I love that thing. Are people going to be able to buy those like 2, 3, 4 years from now?
Yeah, absolutely. Furniture will never not be a part of what we do. It's how the company started. It's a wonderful thing that we love, and we think we are some of the best in the industry at doing tables for all price ranges, from the custom to the Jasper, and we even introduced the Jasmine. We even introduced a completely new product line, the Jasper shelves, which are something that we are really excited to start offering next year outside of Kickstarter for just people that are interested in buying them.
Got to get myself some Jasper shelves for sure. Clean up the studio.
So the furniture is still a main part of what we're doing, and it took us a long time to understand what our company is. We do these, strategic but approachable games. We have these bags that people love. We have these tables and these shelves, and it's like, how does this all fit together? Because when I first came on board, a lot of what I was focused on is like, what are we as a company? Because we're kind of a hodgepodge of everything. And I think when we worked on the rebranding and when we came to allplay, what our main thrust as a company is we are a company that believes in game night. We're a company that kind of believes that game night is very important for people, and everything we do is in support of you having more game nights more often.
And it kind of speaks to a certain commitment to inclusion, right?
Yes.
All play to me, just from the games that you guys produce to like how you hold yourselves as a company, and the people that I see setting up the games and volunteering here, everything that I've seen has been a big commitment to like everyone belongs at game night,
Yes, absolutely. We 100% are for game night being for everybody. We think it's one of the most enriching things that people can add to their lives. And so whether it's with your friends, your family, strangers, meetups that you're going to for the first time, we think that with All Play as a brand, we can help elevate all of those game night experiences, right?
Right. Well, let's talk about the games that people are going to play there, because you have 4 new trick-taking games?
We do. So Sail, Couture, Chomp, and Mindspace came out not too long ago. Sail has been a massive smash success since it hit. It's been on multiple, numerous top 10 lists this year. It has been just really going like crazy. We only have a limited amount of stock here because we're already needing to reprint it, even though it only delivered this summer. And so we also have just a few copies of the 4 new Trick Takers. Those arrived in the warehouse on Tuesday. So we brought 94 copies of each in our luggage to PAX Unplugged. So this is going to be a pretty hot commodity here. But
right.
We're super excited about being able to like really go full force into the trick-taking genre that we love. So we have, our games are kind of in lines, and so 9 Lives, Ghosts of Christmas, Sail, and now these 4 new ones, Bacon, Pies, Mori, and Lunar, are all a part of what we call our tricky card game line.
Okay.
And so they are trick-taking and trick-taking adjacent games. So Bacon, strictly speaking, is a shedding game. It's not a trick-taking game, but it's still, I think most people would like play a game like Bacon, and it would be very familiar to people that are used to trick-taking, ladder climbing games, shedding games, things like that.
When you think about what All Play represents as far as the game lines that you have here, I know you like those very approachable, easy to teach, but strategic games. You can apply that lens to pretty much any genre of game in the hobby space. Do you see every genre as potentially a resource for you? Like, are you like, well, if there was the right tower defense cooperative game, that might be something that fits in a small box, comes over to All Play? Or is there like a very dedicated, this is our zone that we want to kind of commit to?
No, I mean, you've played enough of our games to know that whether it's a we just did Reiner Knizia's classic Through the Desert recently was on Kickstarter, and I think that speaks to the fact that that was a game that has come out in the 90s, but we had the ability to do it with a beautiful fresh coat of paint, to revitalize it, to offer more to the people that already had it, and just to have a game that has been classic for so long but still fits that All Play branding of approachable strategy, easy to learn, fits in a 4-page rule book.
And easily the most offensive camel placement game in the biz.
Yes, absolutely. So we don't really stick to any kind of genre. We have multiple genres that we have explored within the company. And I wouldn't say anything's off limits, really. We're super open to looking at any kind of game. Our main thing is, because we are so strict on our box size and our price points, we do $40, $20, one big box, one small box, and even our big box is not big compared to what most companies do. It's most companies' small box is equivalent to our big box. But we really believe in just that strict brand adherence, and we want to make whatever game comes to us the best version of what it can be. And sometimes that belongs in a small box, and sometimes that needs to be in a big box.
So what's on the horizon then?
What's on the horizon? So there's a lot of stuff that we can talk about. In January 16th, we will be launching a Kickstarter for one of your favorite games from us, Kabuto Sumo, Sakura Slam, which will be a brand new standalone game for Kabuto Sumo. It will feature new mechanics. It will have a square ring with posts, so more of the traditional American style of wrestling.
Amazing.
It's going to be have a lot more different different modes that you can play in. It's going to be fantastic. We're really excited about it.
And is Tony Miller designing that one as well?
Yep, Tony, as well as John Brieger and Michael Dunsmore. They have been instrumental on the development of the game since the very beginning. And so they are credited as co-designers on a lot of the expansion material that's come out.
Right.
And they will be co-designers on all future projects for Kabuto Sumo.
Fellow Alaskan, or I guess home in Alaska, Michael Dunsmore.
Yes.
A shout out to him.
Famously. Former ballerina.
Yes,
That's
absolutely.
right.
Ballet instructor,
That's right.
even. So is this going to be combinable with the original Kabuto Sumo in some way?
Everything will be backwards and forwards compatible. Absolutely.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And that's kickstarting in January?
January 16th. And then I will give you an exclusive scoop,
I
Jack,
love this.
Okay?
Okay.
So I don't think you know anything about this, but I'll go ahead and let you hold that real quick.
Oh, man. River Valley Glasswork. I love the illustrations on this.
So this is one that we are super duper excited about. This is River Valley Glassworks. This is designed by Adam Hill, Matt Riddle, and Ben Pinchback, famous designers from a lot of people's favorite games like Three Sisters and Fleet. And then we, of course, hired the infamous Andrew Bosley to draw us the cutest forest creatures that we could possibly get. In this game, I'm just going to say, blows Azul out of the water.
I can't wait.
That's a
bold claim.
Yeah, I swear that is the number one statement that people play is go, this 100% replaces Azul for me. We're really excited about this. It has some really engaging gameplay, really fits the brand aesthetic, and this is going to be a really big product focus for us in the next year.
What kind of player counts are we talking?
This will play 1 through 5. So this is going to have...
I love that it has solo accessibility.
This is going to have a very robust solo mode with 5 different AI players that you can play against of varying difficulty. So you can really have a different challenge every time you play. And then it plays all the way up to 5 players, and there is very minimal changes to the gameplay even with 5 players. So
that's important.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So this is going to be direct to retail. Is this also crowdfunding?
This will go to Kickstarter in March. So we don't have an official date stamped yet, but this will hit Kickstarter in March, and we'll be very excited about it. It is going to be one of the very few games that we've ever done this with where it will be featured on Kickstarter by itself, not with other games. And we will have the first time we've ever done this, a exclusive deluxe edition available for the game. Will be available in very limited quantities directly from us after the Kickstarter, but only at that point. So Kickstarter is really going to be the primary way that people can get that deluxe version of the game.
You talked a bit about Kickstarter for this game, and then also you've done several Kickstarters this year. From a consumer perspective, there's some confusion as to what's going on in the crowdfunding market. You have Kickstarter, and then you also have various other crowdfunding platforms these days. Why is allplay committed to Kickstarter at this time?
As opposed to other crowdfunding?
As opposed to other crowdfunding.
I actually just had a meeting with John Ritter, who's the head of tabletop games at Kickstarter earlier today.
Right.
And I just feel like we've really planted our flag in the Kickstarter side of the crowdfunding wars, and that's where we're going to stick with. It's honestly... GameFound feels very niche. It feels very focused on bigger, heavier, miniature-heavy games. It's not what we do. I feel like it's really hard to get the GameFound crowd excited for lighter, smaller, approachable games like what we typically do. And honestly, I just don't feel like BackerKit is right for us because we don't use BackerKit for our pledge management services. We haven't really been working with them for our ads as of late. So BackerKit has kind of felt like not really a good home for us either. And we just kind of like that Kickstarter isn't tied to any other agency. It is just Kickstarter is just the platform. There is no pledge management service tied to it. There is no ad agency tied to it. There's no other publishing company that is a owner of it. Like we just like that Kickstarter is much more agnostic from the point of the publisher than the other companies.
It's for everyone as well. There's a discovery aspect that can't be overlooked with Kickstarter.
And we really rely on that too because we don't do the big spectacle Kickstarters, right? We're not trying to do the Marvel, whatever. It's not what we do. We're not doing, IP games or miniature heavy games or giant $300 all-in pledges, we do approachable strategy games. And, Kickstarter has been good to us, and we have found our crowd there. And, it's not the primary way that we sell our games. In fact, Kickstarter is a tiny piece of the iceberg of what our game's potential will end up being long-term.
Absolutely.
But we still like the approachability, and we're still, despite what people might think, a small company, and really the resources to help basically determine demand more than anything else is really helpful for us.
Well, we have a bunch to look out for. We got River Valley Glassworks. We have Through the Desert, the brand new Trick Takers that you have. You have Kabuto Sumo coming on the horizon. Well, a sequel too.
Yes.
But I got to ask you, as a gamer, as someone who is going to a convention, not just for work, but because it's a freaking convention, what are you excited to check out while you're here?
What am I excited to check out? Okay, I'm going to give a little plug to a couple of my good friends, okay?
Sure.
So first off, Elf Creek is here, and they just have a brand new game called Santa's Workshop. Really want to pick that up. Has some gorgeous art from Bosley. Really excited. Everything Elf Creek does, I'm always excited about. So really want to go check out. They have Santa's Workshop here. But I also want to go see some of my good friends over at Ivy Studios.
Right.
And I want to see what this Moon Rollers is all about. Just is on Backer Kit right now? Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, so they launched that on Backer Kit just a couple days ago. And I'm really excited to see what Moonraker's Roll and Write is all about.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, the first game was innovative for sure, and now a Roll and Write added, a new lens to it. So we'll see what that's looking like.
For sure. So very excited.
All right. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure, Joe. I'm looking forward to recording one of these next year as we continue and see how All Play develops. Thanks for meeting with me.
Absolutely.